370 points on the upscale. We'll have more coming up in Money Watch. And AccuWeather, this is mostly sunny, breezy, and nice with a high of 83 degrees. West Newtown, 221, some traffic center now. Here is Greg Rice.
Well, you got a crash on the Belton Brooklyn eastbound side getting out towards the area of Pennsylvania Avenue. Looks like an SUV and a pickup truck sitting in the left lane, and everybody else is stuck behind it. From Flatbush Avenue westbound, Beltsville, a standstill from Flatbush Avenue to Cropsey Avenue with that wreck that just won't quit. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Citybound side of the George Washington Bridge, no more than a few minutes up or lower. Southbound Deegan's not great, but everything else is worse getting out. Lincoln's about 10 minutes right now in or out. Goes the Holland. RFK is sluggish, Queensbound, but the Whitestone and Throgsneck, that is to be worse. Brooklyn Brooklyn Bridge, Citybound Williamsburg, all sorts of slow at this hour. Garden State Parkway, car went and caught fire southbound. Your exit 148. So you got the right lane out as they tend to that, starting to get bad all the way back towards exit 150. Traffic is sponsored by Value Care. Value Care is currently hiring home health aides, personal care assistants, and consumer-directed personal assistants. All shifts available, including living companions for private pay patients. Value Care has a great training school. Visit ValueCareInc.com. That's ValueCareInc.com. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Win.
All right, everybody, listen up. The DOE put out its COVID protocol for the public school session, which begins September the 8th. It's basically the same protocols as last year, but with a few concessions. Folks won't have to do those daily health screenings and no more random in-school testing. Nope. Instead, they'll send 4 test kits to the house with students, parents, and teachers to use if there's an exposure. Also, masks won't be required, but strongly recommended if there's an exposure. Students and staff must wear masks, by the way, when returning to school on the 6th and 10th day after showing symptoms or testing positive, whichever. You also have to wear a mask if you're going to a school medical facility or you're showing signs of COVID. Now, hear this, folks, now. Teachers will still have to be vaccinated, along with all other contracted workers, before entering a school building. That requirement is still in place. And to repeat, teachers still have to be vaccinated, along with other contracted workers. And all visitors will be required to show proof of at least one vaccination. And while kids won't need to be vaccinated to attend class, they will once again have to show proof of vaccination to participate in extracurriculars, including high-risk PSAL sports. Got it? All right. Big protest today at the criminal courthouse in the Bronx as dozens of union members push for the harshest sentence for the guy who allegedly beat up a subway cleaner last week. Samantha Lehman went up there to check it out for us.
CWU Local 100 rallying before this hearing for Alexander Wright, who is accused of assaulting subway cleaner Anthony Nelson Thursday as he was helping a customer who says Wright was harassing riders. Union Vice President Robert Kelly says the system is letting them down.
Anthony is not the first one to get assaulted, but we want to make sure that he's the last.
As of the first quarter of this year, there were 26 physical assaults on MTA workers, but there are many more incidents of spitting and verbal abuse. Female Nelson's mother says her son is suffering after breaking his nose and collarbone.
My son had 2 surgeries, one on Friday and one yesterday. Anthony should not be laying up in that bed. Anthony should have to continue to do his job.
The union argues Wright's been arrested 42 times and should be remanded, and if convicted, get the max 7-year term. Samantha Lehman, 1010 Wins outside Bronx Criminal Court.
And from his hospital bed, Anthony Nelson issued a statement saying he does not regret his decision to step in and help that strap hanger, adding, "You can't turn a blind eye to helping people." Wilmington, Delaware now, and it's the Tigers Roar. Tiger Woods, that is, won't be participating in the FedEx Cup event there, but his presence there could give the Saudi-backed Live Golf Tournament a run for the money. As Steve Capen reports, Tiger trying to talk fellow PGA golfers down off the cliff.
At the British Open, Tiger Woods was critical of players who joined the Saudi golf circuit.
These players are doing for guaranteed money. What is the incentive to practice? What is the incentive to go out there and earn in the dirt?
Now reports say he'll meet with some top-ranked players at a PGA playoff event this week in Delaware, just after a PGA Player Advisory Council meets. One player invited told ESPN it's about rallying support. Last week, a judge stopped 3 players who defected from competing in the PGA's postseason.
Yeah, Woods says players who joined the Live tournament have turned their back on what has allowed them to get to their current positions in golf in the first place, of course, referring to the PGA. Wednesday time 226, 10 on Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins. We're sponsored by ENT and Allergy in affiliation with Mount Sinai. As we say good afternoon to Andrew O'Day.
Good afternoon, and it's turning into a pretty good afternoon on Wall Street. The mixed market that we saw earlier today left behind. We're now higher across the board. Dow rising 350, NASDAQ up 39, S&P 500 gaining 25. The nation's once hot housing market is losing its heat in a hurry. Today, government numbers show an almost 10%